Hey everybody, Adam Savage here in my cave, and we shot a video of Manny, aka Portumac, on the RPF, an amazing model maker, an amazing replicator of movie props. Brought me this masterpiece, this Force Awakens Bowcaster, made completely in aluminum. There's not a speck of glue on this thing. It is all mechanically put together, and it's beautiful. We covered him bringing it in and putting it together and me receiving it. And then I came in today, and because of various things, I wasn't able to jump into a project first thing. So I grabbed this, and I started to muck with it. And I thought I would tell you how that works, because it happens a lot. On this channel, you see me take a prop and do something to it that I wanted to do to it. That is one of the most frequent narratives here on the channel. But what about the times when I receive something that will get painted and modified, but I'm not exactly sure yet about how I'm going to mess with it, to refine it, to turn it into an object that gives me the experience I'm looking for. Because there's oftentimes I'll do stuff to a piece here in the cave as part of just wrapping my head around the object. And I won't necessarily film that because I don't know to what end I'm doing it. And that's what's happening here. So I spent a couple of hours doing stuff to this. And then I thought I'd put it back together and take it apart and show you what I've done to it, so you can sort of get a glimpse into my creative process here. When I bring an object in and I'm not really positive exactly how I'm going to refine it and turn it into the thing that I want. It is a really beautiful piece. It is spectacular in its execution of every aesthetic detail there is. The side panels are dead nuts beautiful. It looks like Manny has done metallic spin casting for these little parts, which is not a process I have tried before, but I know it's a great way to achieve really high quality metallic and pewter parts. The rest is all CNC'd out of aluminum and then sandblasted. And my only issue with this piece is, right off the bat, how heavy it is. It's actually a little overly heavy to me. And that just means that I'm going to open it up and hog out some of its meat. So let's talk about hogging out some of the meat. So this is the scope arrangement, and it is completely machined. It's a really lovely piece. And as it arrived from Manny, I wanted to lighten it up. So I basically I took it apart. The scopes unscrew here, which is quite a lovely, lovely system. I haven't done anything to modify those guys yet. Okay. And then there's these guys. So these are all the pieces as Manny put them together and had them made. And I have already done a little bit of work on this. First up, I took the middle part here and I took out most of the meat in this center section. There it is. I took out all of that meat there. I also drilled a hole all the way through the threading here, front to back. And I drilled a same size hole front to back through here. That made this part significantly lighter. And funnily enough, it made it feel more like a gun part to me. Like a purpose-built weird thing that you find on a machine that you don't quite understand. That's what this is exactly what I wanted. Then I took the scope with the red dot scope in it, and I hollowed it out. I drilled it all the way through. That was one. Then I actually opened this one up. That was a very shallow hole. I mean, it was like about an inch deep. But I've actually hogged out the whole interior of this a bunch. And I will also do that on the scope pieces here. I'll probably open them up on the lathe. And Manny did this lovely thing where he made this front part actually unscrew. And he's got a little lens in there. I'm going to find a replacement lens for that. But that is lovely, lovely work. I am going to go in with a bit and open that up a little bit. And so I'm going to open those two. I'm going to buy a better lens that's rounded because it should be rounded to give me the picture that I want. I also might, if I go with a rounded lens, I might go with a thinner drop back on this. Whether or not that's correct to the original, at this point, I don't really care because I want to lighten this up. It's all a little bit heavy. Same thing on these guys. On these guys, this top lens part is integral, but I think I might go towards cutting it off and making it screw on, doing some single point threading on this. That will take out about half of the weight of both of these guys. Okay, so that's the scope arrangement. That's where that's at. Let's talk about the rest of this piece here. This part I knew was heavy and that I was going to take some stuff out of it. It took me a minute to figure out how this all went together. It's very ingeniously constructed. So here comes the barrel. No lightening or hollowing of that needed or necessary. But this guy, this took me a minute to figure this out. It's just a plate. It's really awesome. Yeah, there we go. So, there. And then this folds down with these guys. Now, on this one, I also drilled through here the stand that holds the scopes up. And I just basically, I used a milling bit to go all the way down through that. And then I turned this over and I hogged out a whole bunch of the inside. Now, there is an aspect of the hole drilling that has a benefit to me directly, which is that electronics could be put in this. And those electronics could be used to give it a muzzle flash, to give it sound, to give it vibration, to give it lights. I know the Bowcaster doesn't have lights on it, but it could have some subtle lights, maybe. I'm not above that. I particularly appreciate Manny's use of almost all the same size screws for things. I mean, that's actually not necessarily his choice. He's just replicating the prop. The trigger arrangement is quite a beautiful little unit. Oh, right. So the trigger arrangement was a monolithic chunk here, and I milled out that, and I milled out that, and I milled out that. All of this was to lighten this up, but also it allows me to potentially put a micro switch somewhere integrally into the switch so that a trigger pull could register electronically. Now, the very next thing that I'm planning to do on this guy, actually, I want to do a little more taking it apart. All right. So this front piece, totally I'm going to take some chunks out of that. Take out that all the way to the bottom. Now, this guy. Okay, there's a couple of things I want to do to this. One is this gets covered up by this up to here. So I'm going to take out all of that material, and I'm going to take out a lot of that material. I may even take out these side channels and these side channels. We shall see. I think I am also going to come in with a big bit and come down here, down to like here, to pull out some of that. And I may go in, I'm definitely pulling these side panels off to take a look. And I may, once I have them open, hog out some of the material in here and connect it through. So again, to allow for electronics to be built. But for right now, this is a really good example of the kind of lightning. Look, I know that's not really neat. It doesn't need to be. That's the top, and now this thing is way lighter. I know I stopped short of up there, but this is totally fine. So this is the kind of stuff that I do. There you go. I'm going to use the my beautiful annular cutter. So now you can see, here's how I'm pulling material out. And I may go in and pull out a little more here and another plug here, and then maybe connect these two, and then I'll put this thing upright and mill out from the top. That should take out a fair bit of weight out of this thing that I needed to go. I did a little more work while you weren't here. I'm sorry. It happens. I came back in after dinner last night and I saw this sitting here, and I drilled through it with a couple of annular cutters, and you'll see where I got to. I think I'm going to cut out just a little bit more out of the top, and I'll film that for you, and then we'll get going on coming down from the top of the Bowcaster. I have had fun this day making even more perfect what was already perfect. Let's be really clear about that. So I've added a bolt here specifically to more secure this, because I just like a slightly more secure grab. The one he had was totally sufficient, but it was a tiny bit better. So then I am doing this business, right? Yes. Which one comes off slightly? It's that one. Great. So goes like this. Goes like that. Good. All right. Then there's this business. Oh, right. Right. That's what that does. So we get this nose piece on here. Yeah. That goes on. And if you're wondering what other kind of tool you might need for some Allen wrenches, know that below a certain size, Allen wrenches don't come with a ball on the end, but a ball was the only thing that was ever going to get me into the zone on that small thing. All right, so now we're going to assemble this at the table here. Let's start with the sides. I've left enough meat everywhere so that all these can still be screwed in. This is spectacular. The other thing I love about this piece that Manny made is how easy it is to take apart and put back together. Literally, the whole thing is a factor of about 15 minutes to strip it completely. That is chef's kiss. That's fantastic. Oh, right. Let's get this malarkey on here. Oh, I just love how much room there is on everything now. Nope, it's that one. Plus, I've got routing for wires absolutely everywhere. Seems a little better. Oh, right. Whoops. Gotta do the barrel. Right, then now we got these guys, right? Yeah, and that's the front, right. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Right. Inch-and-a-quarter lens. Oh, what a masterpiece. I think I pulled maybe 1.5 pounds out of this. It's not a ton, but I feel it. I feel it. Thanks for joining me for this one-day build. Thanks to Manny. Thanks for joining me, guys. Oh, you probably didn't even see my... There we go. Oh, dudes, thank you so much for joining me for this. Thanks to Manny again for his masterpiece. A bowcaster that is completely mechanical, made in fully machined aluminum that can be stripped down to its raw components in less than 15 minutes. Now, there will be some future builds with this. I will do some painting and then some weathering, but I may also add some lights. These little rings here on the side, I can make those glow. And the same thing with the single point scope there. I've included pathways for wiring through all of this. So I think, but look, one of the things that will happen is I'll make a stand for this so I can sit on my workbench and be worked on in 360. That's one thing. And then, you know, I may even also have this anodized black aluminum. That's something that occurred to me to do that I had not done, and then pull that finish back a little bit. That's significant. Anyway, those thoughts are bouncing around in my head. I really appreciate you joining me for this, and I am now going to remove a giant amount of aluminum from the floor of the cave. Yeah.